you are a massive, amazing comeback story, all right? You're known for having this unbelievable voice, right?
Yes.
Can we play a clip, by the way?
Whatever you want to play,
Can we get a clip up of him? It's worth you guys, really, you have to see his stuff and follow him because his stuff is unbelievable. It's the funniest shit. Okay, watch this.
For the win against Oklahoma. It is good. My goodness, Texas wins. It is one thing to get beat, but it's another thing to get beat by a man with the last name Dicker. And boy, oh boy, I got a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot of dick signs hanging outside of dorm rooms in Texas. Hell, we might even see a couple dicks hanging out the windows in Texas because this man just upset Oklahoma. Well, and Peter, obviously we're on the air right now, so we got to be careful, but I'm just going to say it. You know his last name's Dicker? Well, he's going to be able to shove that thing inside of any girl he wants on the Texas campus because this man has done it. Texas stuns Oklahoma. Well, Peter, we're going to keep our expectations to a minimum based on his skin color. Troy Apka on the 40. It begins right now. Holy fucking sugar titty motherfucking cutbag. Unbelievable as Troy Apka runs a 4.35. Peter, who would have thunk it as the crowd is on their feet going wild for Troy Apka. I just saw a pair of fake titties right after he crossed the finish line. That's how excited this crowd is right now.
So that was, I remember that one. I recorded that one in my mother's bedroom. I really did. When I moved home at 28 years old. That's how I fucking created that.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right, so number one.
Yeah.
How'd you come up with this idea? How did it start?
So I always had this voice. I had this very good sports announcing, sportscasting voice. And what I would do is I learned about it in high school. First memory I have of it is I remember sitting next to my buddy in a car, and we had the windows down. We'd skip 7th period, and there was this old lady, like 90 years old, sitting next to us in the car on the right. And I rolled down the window and I was like, well, Cocoa Crisp or something fucking stupid and said something in a broadcaster voice. And that's the first time I'm like, whoa, I have a pretty good broadcaster voice. And then just since high school up until now, I've just kind of always used this weird little voice. You know, my goal was always to be an actor, comedian. I just was very not focused and kind of all over the place. And yeah, so.
Do you ever think about being an actual sportscaster?
There's not enough money in it.
No, not money, huh?
There's not enough money in it. There's more money in this shit now. You can kind of do it yourself. I mean, I go work for fucking ESPN. I go, fuck it. Like, no. And I don't want like you. I don't want to be owned by anybody.
Right.
You know, I want to fucking do it myself. I don't like anybody to tell me what to do, you know? And,
so was there like a moment in time? Well, first of all, before you became famous though, right? Yeah, you were fucking disaster like me, right? Tell me what happened.
So I came out to LA to be an actor comedian. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do it. After high school, didn't go to college. Went to New York Film Academy to study acting for like fucking 3 weeks, and people started dressing up as like Peter Pan and shit. I'm like, I'm fucking out of here. I don't want to do this shit. So ended up saying, you know what? Fuck it. I'm moving to LA. I'm going to be an actor comedian. I'm going to do this. So I moved to LA. Ended up first couple weeks go by. You know, I had a little money from mom and dad they gave me.
Right.
That went away fast, whatever. I got to get a job. Fuck. So I go to the local country club, Wilshire Country Club, and I go get a job, caddying, a caddy for caddying.
Right.
So long story short, I was caddying for 4 years, and I went to LA for 4 years to try and be an actor comedian for 4 years. I didn't do one audition for 4 years. I didn't do one comedy show for 4 years. I did absolutely nothing. I was
caddied.
I was caddying. I was content making $200 a day. Right. I kind of like lost myself in a sense. I lost the desire to want to, perform and do all that shit. And I kind of got into, I got heavy into cocaine, like very, very heavy into it.
Let's talk about that. Define heavy. What was like the average daily consumption?
I would be like, Bob, you have a 7:15 loop caddy job. And I'd be like, all right, cool. Give me 1 second. I've used the bathroom. All right, here we go. Carrying 2 rich people's golf bags, like every day. And I would do that.
How much was the average daily consumption?
I don't.
Ballpark. A gram a day?
Well, I know that I made probably $200 a day, and I spent $350 on coke every day.
So a bowl a day. It sounds like a fair.
A lot, and it just became a point where I was just fucking miserable, and then I, kind of more time went by. Towards the end is when it kind of gets interesting. How kind of my life, whatever. So I had no more money to stay in an apartment. I was, whatever. So I ended up, a member at the club gave me a Jeep Wrangler. And so I ended up using that, because I didn't have a place to live, as a fucking house, as a home for I slept in a car for 2 months. Wow. So my routine was, and this was 2.5 years ago. So my routine was I would drive around the neighborhoods, look for a good place to park that I wouldn't be noticed. I would have tinted windows. Like, I had the Jeep, thank God, was tinted. I would find a nice neighborhood. I would park, and I'd have a blanket, pillow all set up, and I'd go to bed. I got a membership at the YMCA for $35 a month. I would shower in the morning. And the good news about when you sleep in a car, you have to be up early. You can't sleep in. You can't sleep in. You're up. Sun's up. People walking by fucking running laps around the neighborhood. And I would wake up, go to the Y, shower, go to the caddy yard. Wasn't having much success getting jobs there because somebody didn't like me, I don't think. And so I wasn't getting looped. So I'd wait in the caddy yard for 6 hours a day.
What year is this now?
This was, I think, 2.5 years ago. Wow. 3 years ago. 2017,
yeah.
Yeah. I think the drugs have something to do with the memory too. I think my fucking memory is awful. I can't remember, but I can remember this story. So anyway, I'm sleeping in the car. 2 months go by, and finally, my buddy Ernie Giapapis, because I used to always go out with my buddies for my sports broadcasting voice. I used to find a group of people. This is how I used to This is my audition in my comedy training. I would walk up to a group of say you four were out having drinks. And you're in a group.
Right.
And I'd be having a drink with my buddy. We'd just be chilling. And something my body would pull me to try and show my voice to them. And I'd be all fucked up on drugs and whatever. So I'd walk right up to him and be like, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, tonight on ESPN. How you doing? Bob Menery, good to see you. Nice to meet you. Bob Menery, how are you, sir? Whatever. And they'd be like, what?
You really have a great voice, by the way. You really do.
Voice of Buffalo Wild Wings now, by the way. So it's number one.
What?
Buffalo Wild Wings.
I love it.
Yeah, number one commercial, I think, on TV right now.
Awesome.
After this podcast, probably not. But so yeah, I used to go up and just do that. And people would be like, what do you do? And I always used to make up, like, well, I'm the NBC announcer for the Tennessee Titans on the Jacksonville. I would just make up things. I was fucking off my rocker, blacked out, fucking whatever. So anyways, back to the story. I'm sleeping in the car finally. My buddies always used to be like, where do you live, dude? I'm like, like that apartment building over there. And it has yellow caution tape around it. What are you talking about? That's fucking, you don't live there. Whatever. So I'm like, never mind. Sorry, wrong building.
Yeah.
So finally one day I'm sleeping in the back of the car. And, well, actually, there was one moment I want to tell you real quick. Yeah, crazy thing was I was in the back sleeping. It's 3 a.m. All of a sudden my door fucking, getting, and I was the lowest point ever. It was like getting, what do they call it? Gym eat or something like that, right? So this guy was trying to break in my car, and I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck? So I look over to my left. It was in Sherman Oaks. I look over to my left, opens the door. It's this fucking big ass motherfucker, just standing there trying to break in. And I remember it was a moment I'll never forget. We both made eye contact with each other. And it was just like, we were both so defeated. And we were just like, what are you doing? And he was like, what are you doing? And it was just like,
wow.
He shut the door, and I was like, do I call the cops? I'm like, no, I'm just going back to bed. And so anyways, I'm sleeping in the car one day, and I had just taken a line of crystal meth by mistake. I thought it was blow, and it was crystal meth.
I've had that same experience.
Yeah, it's fucking craziest thing. So I think I get all paranoid. I'm thinking people are chasing me, whatever, blah blah blah. So all of a sudden, my buddy pulls up next to me in the car. This is crazy. I owe this motherfucker Ernie Giapapis my life. He pulls up next to me in the car, and he rolls down the window, and he's like, or knocks on the window, and I'm like, oh, what's going on? Fucking whatever.
I just left my apartment.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you doing? Knock before you come in, right? So I end up being like, what's up? Embarrassed, and he's like, dude, we all know you're sleeping in the car. You're going home. So this is after 4 years. So I'm like, I get emotional talking about it, but
please.
Oh yeah. So after,
buddy, I've been,
it's better for numbers. But so for
the same spot as you, I get it.
Yeah. So for after 4 years, this was the last day I was in Los Angeles. So he finds me in the car and he goes, you're going home. I'm calling your parents and we're getting you a plane ticket home. So I'm like, whatever, fine. Get me the fuck out of here. You're right. It's time to go. Picks up the phone. Actually called my brother, my sister. I don't think they answered. And then one of my family members picked up and they booked me a flight. And I had my Jeep Wrangler there. And he said, well, what do you want to do with the car? I said, just fucking leave it. It was worth $10,000. Left it on the side of the road. Just said, done. Whatever. So then ended up
Where'd you go back to? You went home to where? What was
Boston, but I went to the airport. But it was a crazy moment too. I was at the airport sitting there. I remember I was so fucked up, dude. Going through security, high on crystal meth is and it was nuts.
I get it.
So fucking go through security, end up sitting in the chair. I like smelled like shit. It was like just bad. All of a sudden I fall asleep and something wakes me up. It's like I hear, Robert Menery, like we're looking for you. We're basically that call they make when they're shutting the door for the plane,
Sure, yeah.
So I'm like, something woke me up, get on the plane. Boom. Now I'm going back to Boston. Flying back to Boston at 28 years old after trying to be a caddy for LA. I mean, trying to be an actor comedian for LA in 4 years. Thinking about that trip on the way home, I was just like, wow, like what the fuck just happened in my life? So get home. My parents just downsized to a 2-bedroom apartment, so they were thrilled to have their 28-year-old son fucking come home. And our beds we'll get to it later why, but our bedrooms were here and here. Very, very small place they live. So I knocked on the door. My parents are the best in the world, very supportive. They were like, come on in, welcome me with open arms, took care of me.
Amazing.
So 3 days go by after being home in Boston. My buddy, my brother-in-law picks me up. He says, hey, you got to get a job. So I'm like, all right. So I went to Leary's liquor store, put in my application, $11 an hour. Hi, I'm Bob Menery. I'd like to work here. $11 an hour. Whatever. Leave.
Liquor store might not be the best place.
No shit, exactly, right? It's the worst place to go, exactly. So my buddy Mike Constantino calls me and he goes, hey, you want to be in a music video tonight? I'm shooting this thing. He's got like 9,000 followers on YouTube. You want to be an extra in it? I'm like, yeah, sure. Why not? Go to this is where my life changed. This is the viral moment out of fucking nowhere. So go to this music video shoot with Mike. You see like my fingernail in the fucking video somewhere. I was like in the background, fucking cracked out probably. I go into this room at 2 a.m. after they're done shooting. And I go and sit down. And there's 2 people in the room. This girl that I never met before and this guy that I never met before. Another man who changed my life. David Justin. So I walk in. It's 2 a.m. I'm all fucked up. What do I do that I just told you? I do my little fucking shtick. Bob Menery, ESPN. Hi, everybody. Wow, what a night it's going to be. Right?
Everyone starts cracking.
So what does he do? He took out his phone. Now, everybody used to take out their phones when I used to do this. But it never went anywhere.
Right.
But that day it did. And this is after being home for 3 days only.
And were you sober at this point?
No. Fuck no. I was not sober. I got sober later. After
let's go. So, right. So,
yeah.
So he videotapes you, right?
So he takes out the thing and videotapes me. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So I go to bed. I didn't think of it. I just did like a shtick. He just taped it, whatever. I go to bed. So the next morning, I wake up and it's like, my phone's like, bling, 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 bling. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, who died? What's going on here? So I look at it and they're like, yo, dude, you're on the internet right now. I'm like, what? The internet? I don't even know what the fuck. Like, all right. Blah, blah, blah. So Bro Bible, I guess, is the thing that picked it up. And it was like, why isn't this guy a sports broadcaster? And basically, it was like #1 on Reddit. My clip went fucking viral. The other day, I'm playing Madden and Deion Lewis running into the end zone, but he has no fucking head because there's a Madden glitch, so his head's missing. I'm like, why is he announcing the video game saying Deion Lewis just scored a touchdown, but he has no fucking head? Let's acknowledge it. So I just brought awareness to the situation that he had no head.